because that's what I do. Because if it doesn't really make sense, you need to speak up, especially as a new designer when you're coming in. Don't feel like you can't add anything to the conversation just because you haven't been there for a particular long period of time. Because you might bring up an idea and be like, "Hey, they probably already thought about this. I'm probably not going to say it." Yeah, they probably have, or they probably haven't. But if they have, what up, unicorns? Eric Abram here, and welcome to another episode of the Ugly Unicorns podcast. Damn, it has been a while. It has been a while since I've done one of these podcasts. I'm going to say it's almost been 3 weeks. You're like, damn, Eric, you have not been consistent. What has been going on with you, man? You put one podcast out talking about, oh, you're going to be more consistent. Then you did a video talking about you're going to be more consistent. Look, guys, if you don't know, I'm a very busy fellow. I'm a very busy, ugly unicorn. I got a lot of things going on in my life, man. And I'm really sorry I neglected you guys. I'm not trying to, I just got a lot of things going on. I got the jujitsu stuff. I got the podcast stuff. I got the YouTube stuff. I got the new job stuff. I got the old job stuff. And that's kind of the reason why I'm here, man, is, just to talk to you guys, because I got 1,000 things I want to talk to you about. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I've been hinting at this probably for about 3 weeks now or whatever. And so as you all know, if you don't know, now you know, the background has changed. See, I got you. You thought I was going to talk about something else. I'm getting to that. But I do want to talk about the background. What do you guys think about the background? It's very different. In the last background, it was basically me crammed up to my desk, trying to shoot to the back of try to shoot to the back. And so I had 2 screens back there. But man, they just kept cutting off. And I was like, I don't really like these screens always cutting off on me, man. What's up with that, man? So wife and I had to talk. And we came to that realization, because now that I'm working fully remote, your boy needs a fully dedicated office, because I'm always in a meeting. I'm always in meeting. It's like fucking meetings on top of meetings. And I got to get better with blocking off my time and really okay, because what I'm noticing is when people see 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here on your calendar, they're just gonna freaking swoop in there like a Hawkeye and basically put themselves on your calendar to talk to you. So I gotta get into a better habit of blocking off time. I'm gonna block off time probably in my latter day, because my new job, they're stationed in Central Standard Time, so they're an hour behind. So I get an hour in the morning, to myself to do some work. Then I'm gonna do maybe 1 or 2 hours in the afternoon, so I can just really, really focus on UX strategy and try to figure out the best experience of the product the product and the team that I'm actually building this application for, working with another designer as well. It's not just me alone. We work in teams, you know what I'm saying? We got to come together. You can't design in a vacuum, right? You can't design in a hole and come back and I have my precious UX designs. Here you go, Hobbit man. Here's the fresh deal. You can't do that. You can't be like Gollum. Can't go off in a cave, trying to come up with UX design. You got to come out. You got to be Frodo, man. You got to go on these adventures. You got to go to Mordor. You got to be like, look, guys, I got the ring. I'm here. But don't let the ring consume you. Don't let it consume you. Don't let UX consume you. Get a hobby. Get a something. But anyways, guys, the background is different. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the background. I'm thinking I'm going to replace my Starry Night that I got in Paris. My wife got this for me secretly. She's like, oh, I got this for you. I'm like, what? Where'd you get that? When you went to go see the other paintings? I'm like, oh, I like that painting. So she got that painting for me. and she framed it. So I got it up on the wall. But I'm thinking I want to do like more like themed UX posts because honestly, that black square, you wouldn't have known it was Starry Night until I just freaking told you, would you? No, you wouldn't have. So I want to get something that's like visible. Visible is that a thing? Visibility. And I got this little light here. This is an aperture light. It's like a little small square light. It's pretty dope. And I got these little fairy lights. Hey, don't sleep on my fairy lights, bruh. Hey, bruh, don't sleep on my fairy lights, bruh. This is Ferngully. Do you like my movie reference? This is Ferngully, bruh. We got fairy lights, bruh, and we growing. Anyway, still kept this. I'm thinking about replacing this with something else. This hello thing. I still like it, but maybe I want to do like a banana or a unicorn or a unicorn banana. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, I got these fire ass nunchucks from my sister-in-law. Yo, these wooden ones, bruh. Do not hurt thy nuts when swinging thy nunchucks. Nun nuts, that's what you gonna get. And I got my jujitsu medal. Probably my last one at blue belt ever, because I'm never gonna compete again. That is the most stressful shit in the world. Hoping that I'm coming into focus because my camera, there we go. There we go. We in focus now. But anyways, guys, I want to talk to you. Man, I spent like, 5 minutes rambling about a background in this video. 5 minutes, bro. Hey, yo, shouts out to the person on YouTube who said, hey, man, you know what? I don't want to spend an hour of my day listening to you, just waiting for you to drop gems. First of all, I appreciate you that you even say that I drop gems. I appreciate that. I feel like, you know what? I really appreciate that you feel my knowledge is, gymmable. Is that a thing? Not like a gem, but like, like a Slim Jim? No, like a ruby, like a gem. You know what I'm saying? Sapphire. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know. Anyway, I really appreciate that you even said that. Going forward, basically he said like, hey, yo, can you timestamp your damn video? I'm like, yeah, bruh. I will timestamp the podcast and every other video going forward. Probably not every other video, but I'm definitely going to try to timestamp these YouTube videos. I actually went back and I timestamped. You're welcome. All 15 other podcasts that I did. Do you not know that it took me like so long to do that for you? Can you please drop a like? Please on the video. Just drop a like for your boy and a comment and a subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Make sure you does that, you does that, and you've already did that. Keep on dropping the likes and just break the like button until you can't break it anymore. But anyway, so I've been doing making sure I timestamp the podcast because I know that I'm a very lengthy talker. I can talk about anything and just ramble for an hour, and you guys are like, okay, there's something, and so hopefully you can get to that there's something a little bit faster. So I listen to my users too. I listen to my followers too. As a good UX, as a good product designer would do. I got a new title. Yes, I do. And so I'm trying to run with that. Still getting used to it. It's like, being husband from boyfriend or fiance. You gotta change the titles. You know what I'm saying? You know how life goes. We making moves. We making moves. I gotta keep singing, guys. Hey, if you're not, look, somebody call Kelly Clarkson and tell her I'm ready to go on American Idol today. Oh, they're not doing that no more. Well, when they bring it back, let's go on today. Oh yeah, I gotta say, I'm pretty good at doing that now. But anyways, what the hell am I even saying? Anyways, I'm timestamping all the videos, making sure that I go back and you guys can just go and go to the parts that you actually want to listen to. And what I'm seeing is in my analytics that I'm getting a lot more view time on the videos because you guys can just skip over all the stuff that you don't want me to talk about or ramble about, but you know what you signed up for when you came to this podcast. That's why I changed the darn name. I changed it, man. I changed it. But there's a few things I want to get into. One thing I want to get into that's sort of serious at the moment is this whole like, thing that went down in Atlanta, with that mass shooting that went down to the Asian community. My heart goes out to you guys. Um, One, because my wife, she is Asian, she is Korean, and we had a really heartfelt conversation last night. And she was really hurt by it that this is still happening and the things that she has gone through growing up and stuff like that. And so like I really resonate with her and understand like, hey, I definitely sympathize with you. Me being as a African American male or black man, whatever the hell you want to call me. Just don't call me broke. But anyway, let's get back to being serious. We had a really heartfelt conversation about what happened here and everything like that. And we were basically just chopping it up, talking about it, being serious and trying to understand like why the hell is this shit still happening? And why is nobody, really trying to like beat down the door like and just calls for change and like really try to make effective change on this shit. The reason why I say that is because she was talking to me about how the police officer said, "Oh, the guy he was having a bad day. He was sexually frustrated or whatever the hell." I wasn't really trying to get into it, but like that was weird. I'm like, he's making excuses for the freaking dude that shot up 8 people. What the fuck are we? What are we doing? What are we doing, Georgia? And of course, since it's in like some BFE town outside of Atlanta, that this was happening in, and like it's just so freaking strange that people to this day are still trying to sympathize for the people who are doing the wrongdoings. Like, are you serious? They're making excuses to why this person did this. They're making a reason why this person did this. That is insane. That is insane, man. And so I just wanted to just mention that and make sure that you guys are aware of the things that is going on around me. And yes, she's good, she's safe, you know what I'm saying? She's not really worried about that's gonna happen to her, but I just want to make sure like she's good mentally and emotionally and just be there to support her because that shit's that's not good, man. It's so close to home, like literally close to home, and it affects like her community, like basically her people, which is not great. It's just not great. And we can't continue to freaking sympathize with the people who are doing the wrong, man. We can't be like, oh, he was having a bad day. I don't give a fuck. I have bad days all the time, but I'm not going around trying to hurt people. Like, let's be real. Like, come on, man. Like, let's not do that. This is just living in the South, man. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've been talking about moving from this freaking place. I grew up in Alabama. Well, not grew up, but I was raised in Alabama. I lived there for like 18 years of my life. I moved there when I was 7 from Germany. If you guys don't know, military brat. But yeah, it's just insane. Like, going from Alabama to Florida to Georgia, I'm seeing the same motherfuckers all the time. Excuse me for my words. I'm seeing the same people all the time. And I'm so sick of it. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Look, we almost moved to Seattle. I'm gonna get into how that came about, but it almost freaking happened, and I'm, you know, I don't know what to do. It could still happen because now that my job is fully remote, I have full autonomy. I can do work anywhere. That might be something I consider maybe moving out of the Southeast because I'm so sick of it. Like you guys have no idea. But anyways, yeah, shouts out to the families that happened to, man. I sympathize with you guys and hope everybody's okay. But anyways, let's get to what I want to talk about that you guys probably have been hearing and seeing across the social medias from me. We'll probably be on a couple of videos that I did where I'm talking about my new job. Yes, your boy Eric Abram has moved on from Primerica, and now I'm working at this place called Fetch Rewards. If you don't know what Fetch Rewards is, go to the App Store, download it, use it. It's a pretty dope app. It's pretty cool. I didn't know what it was, so I researched it, and now I can't stop using it. It's like one of those things. You go in, you snap your receipt. Oh shit, I get points, and like this is pretty dope. If you guys have not checked it out, make sure you do check out the app. It's pretty dope. And I'm actually working on that, so that's pretty cool. And so, with that at Fetch, I am now their new senior product designer. I'll be working with another junior designer on a particular team that I'm on, and she's pretty cool, man. She's very very nice, very soft spoken. I feel like we're gonna be able to like really make some really great things because like at the end of the day, like that's what I want to do anyway. I want to like help and mentor other designers out there, junior designers, whether that's through my own platform or at work or whatever. It does not matter. That's what I wanna do, and that's what I'm trying to do. And so, I'm coming in there very new, very green. Last week was my first week, I'm basically doing all the onboarding stuff, doing all the admin stuff, and like as well as trying to support my teammate and offer some design expertise whenever I can. But at the same time, I'm still trying to get some of that domain knowledge that she has. Like she has a lot of domain knowledge because she's been there for a minute. I'm just trying to like get it all out of her brain, like give me some of that knowledge. And so because I'm coming in with like a fresh perspective, it's always good to make sure that you speak up on the things that you see that you have questions on. You're like, why are we doing it this way? This does not make sense. Have we thought about the strategy for this? Have we thought about scalability? Have we thought about the long term play? And I think what you have to do is when you go into a new job or or a business that or a business whatever that you kind of have a little bit of stake in, you need to kind of think more like an entrepreneur. They call this entrepreneurial. Well, like entrepreneur, you're outside, you're trying to do something else. But entrepreneur, you're trying to think and help the business. Working at a startup, you do get some equity in the business. So like, their success is your success and your success is their success. Did I say that right? I hope so. But anyways, there's that part of it too. And so like when you go into a team or a project, that's kind of how I like to view things as a not only as a designer but as a person who owns their own business. I look at it in that way too. It's like, hey, if this was my business, would I run it this way? Would I do things this way? Like you got to be able to challenge people's ideas and challenge things that they're saying and that they're doing because one, it might not make sense. You're just taking in direction from a particular person because they're paying you money does not mean that that decision is the best decision. Like we got to think about, okay, how does this make sense for our user base? How does it make sense for the business? You got to be able to, as a product designer, you have to be able to define that sweet spot, not only for for the users, for the business, and also for technology. It's like, hey, do users even want what we're actually putting out there? Do they even find benefit? Hey, two, how do we measure success and how does the business make money and how are we able to replicate this thing, have repeatable processes in place so therefore we can go out and do this again and make more money. That's the scalability of it. It's like, hey, you can't do one-off things. You just can't do it. You can't do custom for this person, custom for this person, custom for this person. We got to think long term and you got to go the longest yard when doing a football reference. You can't just always just like, hey, we're going to do custom for you and custom for you. Like, yo, long term play. How is this scalable? That's what I'm looking at when I go into a team. I'm looking like, especially now on this team, I'm looking like, hey, long term, how is this going to scale? And how are we able to have repeatable processes in place and repeatable things and components in place where we can offer this solution to anyone and to have a great outcome because we know because we track the measurement, we've seen success, we have these metrics so we can pull from and say like, hey, this actually does freaking work because we have these processes in place. And that's what I like to do as a designer, man. Like I heard this from a podcast, Darren Hood. Shouts out to you, man. Like I really enjoy listening to your podcast. If you guys have not heard Darren Hood's podcast, I'm plugging his shit right now. Check it out. I get a lot of my information from him because he's been in the game for a long, long time, and he knows what he's talking about. So if you haven't checked that out, I think it's called UX World Podcast, something like that. I'll put it down. Maybe not, but I just look for his name on in the Googles and the Facebooks and in the podcast area. But anyways, he talks about going into business thinking as an entrepreneur. In my mind, I already do that. I'm already going into the business thinking like, hey, If I was running this business, if I was running this particular team, if I was running this app, I was running this particular feature, how would I go about doing this and making it repeatable and making this process smooth as possible for everyone? I'm talking about everyone, from the freaking people who are going out there selling this idea, from the people who are going out here building this idea, from the people who go out here are designing this idea, the people who are managing this thing. That's where I'm at in my mind. I could care less about pretty colors and fucking mock-ups and things like that. I'm looking at how do I make the best experience for my users, as well as having a clear defined problem to solve, a clear defined user who I'm solving for, initial hypothesis to gain an understanding of the direction that we are going in. That's what I see needs to be happening right now. Whenever you go into a new business, you make sure that you get a clear, defined problem and you make sure that thing is freaking defined, and define your user base. Who is that? Who are we designing for? And why is this important? And where else is this even built? And where is this happening? And how do we make this thing repeatable? How do we make this process work for many? Not just one particular individual, but many, and have that thing be profitable for that individual who comes in and says, like, hey, we want to do the same thing. Like, okay, we got this, and this, and we can do this for you. There's going to be some nuance in there. I understand that because every business is different. But at the same time, you can't have 90% nuance. You got to slim it down, baby. You got to slim it down because you can't have a custom experience for everyone. It just doesn't work. And so in my first week, I think I had about, I want to say 15, 20 one-on-ones. This basically, interviewing people, talking to my teammates, talking to other people, talking to other stakeholders on my team, just kind of get an idea of what they think or how things have gone and what sort of challenges have they faced and what have they heard through the grapevine and what are some of their ideas, just so I can kind of gain an understanding of everything as a whole. I'm looking at this thing holistically. How does it all work? You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, you cannot see the freaking forest from standing inside of the trees. You got to zoom out. You got to be able to like get in your helicopter, zoom the fuck out and see all the trees. You can't always focus on just the features. We're going to build this feature, then this feature. Like, why are we getting all feature heavy? Why are we not even talking to users to even understand if this feature is even something that they actually want? So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to get a holistic view of this whole thing and try to understand it from the UX perspective, the user's perspective, the business perspective, the technology perspective, all gamuts. Because as a UX professional, you can't only focus on the user. You can't only focus on doing wireframes and journey maps and things like that. You need to be able to step back and see how it all connects and how it all relates, right? Because that's what business is a bunch of people, coming together with ideas and they're linking together because this department is affecting this department affects this department, and everything links together because if one thing breaks, it all breaks, man. That's what it is, and you don't want to be the person on the team that breaks that. You want to be the person on the team that helps build that up, and that's what I'm trying to do, man. I've been trying to say this for a minute, and I think I'm making some progress. Where I think one of the issues is we got to make sure that we have repeatable processes in place, but also we have a process in place when we go to design. I feel like there has been too much emphasis on if you look at the double diamond, you have discover, define, design, and deliver. There's been too much focus on the design and deliver, and not enough focus on the define and the discover and the define part. Because once you have those two things in the beginning sort of nailed down, it is a breeze. It is a breeze to build this stuff. It is a breeze to design this stuff because you have a clear North Star. You got a clear focus of what direction you are going in because you know who you're designing for, what problem you are designing, and sort of the idea and methodology of, okay, this is what it could be, right? And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. Is like, hey, if you take a look back and holistically look at this and think about future, what does that look like as a program as a whole? Not individual features, not individual people in within it, but as a whole. That's all I want to do because at the end of the day, I need to build an experience as a whole, right? I need to build that holistic experience from beginning to end of a particular program and what that particular thing looks like because there's a lot of things that's missing. We're missing the min max, we're missing all this, we're missing how things are going to be presented. That's sorry about that. I just smashed my microphone again. But anyways, that's what you have to do. And this is all happening within my first week at work. And it's a good thing. I think it's a good challenge. I think that's the reason why my boss put me on this particular team because I think she kind of she said, like, hey, you like a bridge builder. I'm like, I am a bridge builder. I'm trying to make connections. I'm trying to not only make relationship connections, but I'm also trying to make mental connections in my mind of how this application is going to work as a whole. Because that's what I do. Because if it doesn't really make sense, you need to speak up, especially as a new designer when you're coming in. Don't feel like you can't add anything to the conversation just because you haven't been there for a particular long period of time. Because you might bring up an idea and be like, hey, they probably already thought about this. I'm probably not going to say it. Yeah, they probably have, or they probably haven't. But if they have or had, whatever, they probably haven't thought about it in a long time or considered it in a long time. And you're bringing a new, fresh perspective in it. And they're like, oh, yeah, we talked about that last time. Okay, it kind of does make sense. If this person comes through, it does this. I'm so sorry. My wife is calling me. And she's probably going to call back again because I just ended the call. Sorry, wife. Don't do that. But anyways, and that's what you guys have to do when you go into these new jobs and just like, hey, does this really make sense? Does this really make sense to keep doing this? I'm gonna have to pause real quick. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. I just had to text her and tell her to stop calling me because I'm doing a podcast. Uh, Thank you. So I'm gonna put all that in there. I don't care. This is life. This is how it is when you have a studio, when you're working in your own office, working in your own house, doing your own podcast. You're gonna have interruptions, just like at work. You're gonna have interruptions. People always want to come talk to you. But anyways, that's what you have to do as a new designer is being able to come in and just ask those questions. If it doesn't really make sense to you, just say like, hey, does it really make sense to do this? How beneficial is this for the user? Have we even tested it? And where are you getting that data from? And where do you get that information from? Can you share that with me? I kind of want to see that. You know, that's kind of what you have to do. So my first week at work has been it's been a pretty cool experience. I'm not gonna lie. It's very nice to kind of see it from a different angle, like a new team being stood up and trying to see where those pain points are. I recognize those pain points early within that first week, just based on the conversations I've had. Everybody and then all the research and the things that I've gathered. That's what you kind of have to do. Like you got to go in there, make these one-on-ones, talk to individuals, try to get their insights on different things. It's then from there you can kind of gain an understanding. Like, okay, this is a pain point here, here, here. You start seeing patterns. Like when I was interviewing everybody started saying the same things over and over. I'm like, well, this is not a coincidence. This is a pattern. This is things that people have seen. And so like taking that, hearing people say these same things over and over from different people, that's something I need to write down and make sure that I capture. So anyways, I'll get you guys wondering like, dude, so you got a new job. You did all the cool stuff for onboarding. They sent me all these nice packages. I got this new computer and stuff like that. I did a video on it. I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to edit it. I just have random clips everywhere. I might try to put that out too. But like, so why did you even leave your Primerica job in the first place? Well, I mean, how much time you got? I'm just joking. Um, I was at a point in my career at Primerica where I just really wanted to do something different. I really wanted an actual change. I've worked at $1 billion company, moved to another $1 billion company. I'm just sitting here thinking like, I really want to work at a startup. And also like I was wanting to like, really work remotely and have that autonomy and be free to live wherever I wanted to, live and work wherever I wanted to. And they were not going to offer me that. It was sort of like a yo-yo. They would keep pushing the date back. We're going to go in the office to this day, go in the office to this day, go in the office this day. You're just on a yo-yo, and I didn't really like that particular yo-yo diet that I was on. And nobody really had clear clarity of whether or not, the office is going to go back. That was like one contributing factor, you know. And I really didn't really like that the fact that, I'm in my home. Like I really enjoy working remotely. Like I really do enjoy this. And the last thing I want to do is go back into an office and work. Like for what? I'm very comfortable here. I got my standing desk. I'm all set up. I got my podcast. I got my two monitors. Like I got snacks here. I got a bed here. I got everything I want. I don't have to commute. I don't spend any money on gas. It's amazing. But like, when you think about like, all those places like Google and Facebook like that, they're like, oh, we have ping pong table, we have workout, we have gyms, we have pods. Dude, my house has the exact same things. What are you offering that I can't offer that my house doesn't offer? Uh, can you people, I guess? I don't know. But we're in a age now where like everybody really, really does want to work remotely. And the fact that, they didn't really have a clear direction on that was kind of the one real factor that, what really was a big catalyst for me was, yeah, I don't want to go back into the office. I want to be able to work wherever I want to work. I don't want to just be stuck here in this place that I don't really want to live in. And is that really worth it to me? So that's what I did. I started going out, applying for jobs, you know, and I do sympathize and empathize with all you guys out there who are applying for jobs and getting rejected, applying for jobs and getting rejected because as I'm looking at my list here, I applied to a lot of jobs and got rejected too. So I'm just looking at my list here. Like, man, I'm looking at this thing. I've applied to, I'm not gonna show this to you guys. I might show it to my Slack group. If you haven't joined the Slack group, check it out. I might show this list to my Slack group, but I'm not gonna show it to y'all because if you're not in the Slack group, you're missing out on a lot of things. I just wanted to say that. And so I made this particular thing here from Google Drive that I made where I have it automatically calculate everything that I put in here as far as like all the jobs that I applied for, like companies I applied for, the role, the city, the date, interview, yes or no. I put some notes in here as well and also put how I applied. And so as I'm going through this, I'm looking at my total job calculation that I applied for was 46 jobs that I applied for. 9 total interviews. Actually, I gotta say, yeah, 9 total interviews, and then I got like 14 no's. So there's 14 straight up rejections, and I also rejected some other people as well. So looking at some of the companies I looked at, most of them were I did the whole like apply on Indeed strategy. Don't do it. Doesn't work. Doesn't freaking work. But if you do the website apply thing, that kind of works. I also had some recruiters reach out to me. Um, you know, recruiters, man, they want you to freaking work. They want you to do it. They want you to do so much stuff. Like, yo, what? Why do I got freaking give you an arm and a leg just to apply to this job? Like, why can't you just go out there and talk for me? But anyway, LinkedIn, personal websites, and then recruiters and stuff like that. And so the places I um had interviews at it was like Coros. It's also in Austin. Fetch, of course. Favor, Flow Sports. I turned them down. And then I had 4 interviews at Microsoft and 1 potential interview at Wheel. So I want to go back to Microsoft. So I interviewed 4 times at Microsoft. I had 4 interviews, like the 4 like beginning ones, right? And then the recruiter came back and said, "Hey, they want you. like 3 out of 4 wanted me to go through their like the other like interview process for their loops interview process. And from what I've heard, those damn things last all day. And when I interviewed at Fetch, it was kind of similar to a loop was like it's like an all day interview. I was like, literally, I was just like, I just did one of those. I'm really happy with this small startup that I'm got an offer from. I'm going to just pass on Microsoft, and that's exactly what I did. I hit up Microsoft and was like, hey, I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. I had to go back and cancel my interviews for a bunch of places like Coros told them no way. Um, Flow Sports told them no. Wheel told them no. There was a job for the Home Depot. I told them no. Like I didn't really want to work at another giant conglomerate. I didn't want to work at another billion-dollar company. And you know, working at these billion-dollar companies, there's some upside and there's some negatives to it. Like I looked at it like, hey, I'm never gonna reach that top spot there. And also, you gotta look at it too. Like my wife said this too. She which really put things in like perspective. She's like, if I don't want my manager's job, why am I working there? Like I don't want to get to that point. Why am I working at that particular business? I'm just like, that makes a little sense. Like if you don't see yourself in that position and you're working there and that could possibly happen, or if your boss were to leave and you could be approached to fill that position and you don't even want that position, is like, yo, maybe this company is not the company for you. Right. And so I was just thinking about, I interviewed at Fetch, man. Everybody was so freaking nice, dude. Like everybody was super positive. Like I really felt like, yo, this could be the squad for me. You know what I'm saying? This could be the place where like I really could make a huge impact and add some value to the team and really help in that gaining that understanding. And so that's one reason why I accepted the fetch role, because the people alone, and I also have always wanted, it was for the people. I always wanted to work at a startup. I always wanted to work on an application like that. And so like the trifecta was there, you know what I'm saying? And my boss she's like super chill, she's super nice from what I understand, from what I've seen from talking to her, from what everybody else has said. And like everybody else on the team, it seems so helpful and so positive. Like they're like, hey, if you need this, this, and this, and they send it to me like, hey, I need a a presentation on whatever you guys have done, so I can kind of look at what you guys have already done previously, because I don't want to recreate the wheel. That's what I'm all about too. Like, if there's something out there that's already been done or created, don't redo it because you're wasting your time. It's already been made. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, so like 46 jobs, 9 interviews, and then like 14 no's. Like it's crazy because some of these jobs like they have yet to even get back to me, and it's been months. It's been months. And it's insane because like people always say this is like, yo, these jobs, they just ghost you, don't ever send a rejection letter, they don't send anything. At the end of the day, they don't have to. They really don't have to. It's nice to get one of those, but don't feel bad. But like some of the places where I was looking at, because my wife and I were looking at moving to Austin, Texas, still up in the air, and also looking at some remote jobs. Like Austin was a place we looked at, Seattle, of course, because of Microsoft. I even applied to Expedia Group. They did not call me back. But it's all good. Chicago, all these remote jobs. So like the 3 places I was looking at, even considering moving to, was Chicago. Don't know why, because it's cold as it's so cold. I don't know why I even edited myself, because I've been cursing this whole time. Who cares? Chicago was one of them, Seattle, and then Austin was another one. And just like a fully remote position. We're still talking about whether or not we're gonna live here in Georgia versus any other place. So it's still up in the air, man. Still having more discussions on that. We'll figure it out in about a year. We'll see where we're at come January next year. But yeah, if you guys want to see this list, make sure you sign up for the Slack group. I'm gonna put it in that job posting area, just so all my Slack members can kind of see, like, hey, it's okay. It's okay. I get rejected too. It's all right. And you know what? It's all right. Don't feel bad. And hey, guess what? I rejected some people too. I rejected Microsoft. Who would do that? Somebody be like, I can't believe you would turn down Microsoft. But why not? I didn't really want to do Microsoft. I didn't want to do that. So that's something that I had to look within myself and just like, you know what? Microsoft is not the place where I want to be. I don't want to work for another super conglomerate, big billion-dollar business, so it is what it is. Sometimes you have to go with your gut and your morals versus trying to chase the money or the titles or the fancy place to work. Like, I know a lot of people out there who want to go and work at like a Facebook or a Google or whatever, and it's starting to realize like, hey, these companies don't really align with my views. Like, yes, it's nice to have one of those things on your resume, but that's the only reason why you're doing it, just to have it on your resume, just so you can like go get a job somewhere else. That's insane too. To have that mindset, like, I'm gonna work at this place because I'm gonna take this and leverage it to go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, then why the fuck are you working at this place if you don't even see yourself being there long term? You're just using them. I don't know. Somebody explain that to me and how that makes sense, but maybe it does. Maybe you're just trying to like get into a Google so you can go work at an Apple. I don't know like how that works in Silicon Valley, like how that leverages out, but that's just something to consider, like making sure that companies align with your core values and that, you work at a place where you can see yourself long term. And that's all it is. And Primerica, like, dude, I learned so much from that place, dude. You have no freaking idea. I've done so much. I've learned so much. Everybody was super nice, super cool. No ill will towards anybody I work with. No ill will. It's just that the culture of that business was so old school. It was so like, hey, we've always done it this way. Why are we changing it? Why are we doing that? And just the receptibility of UX in general just wasn't there. The UX maturity was not there. It's insane. Like we would go out, do all this research and do all this user testing. It takes so many hours of our time doing it and present that, and they come back and it's like, yeah, we're not gonna implement any of those changes because we already built it. Like, why would you build that? Why would you go ahead and do that? Like, why would you not wait? That's just the mindset. Now, I'm not gonna say every team is in that way. Some teams are more receptible to user experience than others, but at the end of the day, they're still fighting that fight where they have to like try to make sure that user experience has value. They keep doing all these presentations and showing people the value of user experience, and they've been at it for a long time. I'm just looking like, yo, the UX maturity, I understand that it takes a while for people to try to grasp onto it and try to understand it because UX is such a small thing. It's kind of in its infant phase. But at the same time, you got to be able to listen to others and understand where they're coming from. You can't be stuck in your ways. You can't have this old school mindset of not wanting to change and not wanting to do anything different. Because nobody really wants to take full responsibility if things go wrong. Like, if you're in those positions, you got to be able to take responsibility for when it goes wrong and when it goes right. And that's what I felt like was really missing, was that the UX maturity was not there as a company. It was not fully received and recepted as a company. And they had that old school mindset as a company. It made things hard to change as a company. They're too comfortable doing the way they always done it. And it goes and not it's everybody's there because there's people who have been there for 20, 30 years, 15 years, 10 years. They're just happy doing their jobs, I guess. They don't really like disruption. They're like, yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years. Why are we changing this again? I can see where they're coming from. At the same time, like, your company needs to move with the times, man. I think they're trying to get there. I think they're trying to do that, but they're not willing to let go. Man, they have freaking software one, software two, all in flight, all being used at the same time because they're not willing to kill software one because they're scared they're going to scare away all their people. And now we're building software three. Why are we building software three? We haven't even killed software one yet. Software one still in play. Software two still in play. Now we're building software three. Like, when are we gonna kill one of them, stick to this one, and then work on another one? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyways, shouts out to everybody at Primerica, all my UX folks out there. You guys are awesome. You guys are rocking and rolling. Don't change. Don't change. Be yourselves. Keep doing your thing. Keep fighting the good fight. But yeah, as the company as a whole, as Primerica as a whole, you know, great place for me to, really do things that, I've never done before as far as like research and stuff like that. That was really fun. I really enjoyed interviewing people and conversing and talking. That's something I really did enjoy. But yeah, this just as a whole, it just had that old school mindset. And talking to some people around, it's like, hey, that's kind of typical for most Georgia long-term companies within Georgia. I would say, I would say Fleet Core is kind of that way too, as I think about it. Like most of these long, big billion-dollar companies here in Georgia, that's been around for a long time, 40 plus years. That's kind of the mindset that they have sometimes, and it's hard, man. It's hard to change the minds of individuals. You just got to keep doing what you're doing, keep fighting the good fight. I've heard that it's like, yo, this make sure you do your due diligence and do your job. But sometimes at the end of the day, it's like, yo, I'm doing my due diligence, I'm doing my job, but it's not being receptive. It's not being received as a positive thing for people around me, and that could discourage an individual. Like you put all this hard work into doing all this great research and experience and flow maps and journeys and presenting it, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna keep doing it the old way, even though there's data to back up what we're doing. So so that's why I switched jobs, man. I really do like where I'm at now. To me it feels comfortable, it makes sense. I just feel like there's just a lot of opportunity here, and I'm very happy about the opportunity that becomes about of everything, because I know we can make a huge impact within the application. Anyways, man, I'm gonna cut this podcast, man. It's been a long one. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I'm not being the most consistent, but now you kind of know where I'm at. I've been applying for these jobs. As you can see, if you don't see, you will be able to see in the chat if you go to the Slack, uglyunicorns.com. Make sure you go to the website, sign up for Join Slack. It's free. Get inside the community. I'm capping that bitch at 50. Don't worry about it. It's only like 25 people in there right now. We got enough people to add. I'm capping it at 50 because I don't have too many people in there. I might reconsider my thought process on that, but at the same time, whatever. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you for listening to the podcast. This is your boy Eric Avery. Make sure you like the button, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you check out uglyunicorns.com. And make sure you check out that last video that I did, senior product designer teaching you how to do the whiteboard challenge. Really good video. I will say it's pretty good. Yeah, man, make sure you check that video out because I think it's going to help a lot of you guys. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you for listening to the podcast. This is your boy, Eric Abram. And like I always say, don't just be a unicorn, be an ugly unicorn. Peace.